Blessings, everyone. So, this is for all of you Cancers out there and anyone else that maybe just wants to take the journey of the avatar. So, the next avatar that we'll be reading for is the Alchemist. So, if you are a Cancer, your level 1 DMT avatar is an alchemist. So just kind of sitting in that and exploring what that would mean for you. And then if you want to bring that into the reading, you can do that. Or if you just want to kind of attune to the reading and let yourself kind of have the hits or the experience of how it's relating to your life, do that as well. Really, what this is about is that we are sending beyond the identity of any one space of astrology or identifying as just a Cancer and ascending that into a space where we actually can use the avatar connected to that in a way that we can manifest our best life or manifest a life outside of our programming. With that, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's see what your first code is going to be. Oh, I love this for you. All right, so this first place here is holding the space of what you're aware of within yourself. So we're going to be using the evolution technology, and each of the symbols that are placed around it are basically shifting something of programming into a space of a new frequency outside of that programming or beyond that programming. We'll just leave it at that. I won't go into a there is, I think, a video about how to use the evolution technology. All right, so 333 is the way you're starting. So you are aware of your own mastery. And if you're not aware of it, you have a feeling. This would show up as I know that my experience is not the truth of how powerful I am. So, an example of that would be thoughts like, I know I'm supposed to heal instantly. I know I should be able to manifest instantly. That is your mastery because you already hold a consciousness that is above the illusion of the matrix. So, even if you're still experiencing the matrix, your consciousness is outside of that because you're the knowing. And I'm talking about it's not a thought, it's a knowing. There's a difference, right? It's a knowing that is so deep that when you don't manifest instantly and when you're not healing instantly, you're almost shocked, right? It's like, what is this reality that I'm in? That's your mastery. You are a master, so own it. When you have those thoughts, don't go into a place of doubt. Just see it as, oh yeah, well, I have some work to do in mastering my mastery or remembering just how powerful I am within this illusion, but I know that I'm going to do it. All right, so the DMT code that you have to go with it is the DMT code number 5, which is you really are a change maker, right? You are a change maker, you are a way shower, you are a leader, and you're an alchemist. All right, so what is an alchemist? An alchemist is someone that takes something of form and creates it into something else. So you could say taking coal and bringing it into gold, or um, what's another? Well, okay, so let's do it for the quantum body. We're taking our experience of the body in the frequency of density, right? So I think they measure the body around 7.5. I'm guessing that if you're listening to this, you're well above that. And I'm talking about the frequency of your physical body. And we're bringing that into the frequency of 963. That is alchemy because you're taking something, the experience of one frequency, and you're bringing it into another frequency. And something that's vibrating at 7.5 hertz in form is going to be much different when it's vibrating at 963. That's exciting. Okay, let's go ahead and move into the next space. So this is, all right, so this part of the evolution technology in this reading is the ability or to see what is reflecting back to you. So it could be even just your own programming. It can be your family, it can be your friends, it can be your business, whatever is on the other side, whatever it is that you're observing is the reflection. And that's what, and usually when we're in reflection, we're able to only observe how high of consciousness that we can hold within that observation, right? But if we're still observing it, there's going to be a gap between the intelligence or that source frequency, that 963, and where we're able to hold consciousness in that. So this is where what you're aware of, and it's another 5. So you know that you're here to create change. You know that you're a change maker, but so does everybody else. Everybody sees you as a change maker. They see you as the one that's always doing something a little bit different, right? It's you're well, you're the alchemist. You take like if you were to do something, I can see you in a job. So whether it's your own business or you're working for somebody and everybody's stumped, they're like, how we don't know how to move past this. They'll take something that they've been working on and give it to you. And by the time you give it back to them, it is so upgraded that it's almost not even the real thing anymore, right? It's not even what they gave you to begin with because it's just so much better. That's what this is how people see you. This is how you hopefully see you. I'm going to say I see you that way because you're amazing. Okay. The DMT code that goes with this is the 8. And the 8 is the magician, right? If we're going to put an avatar to it, but it's also the frequency of abundance. So people see you as abundant, they see you as magical, they see you as that change maker. I love this actually. It's, you have the ability to create change in a way that people don't resist it, they actually seek it. So I want you to let's just stop right here for just a moment. And I want you to take a moment and just sit with, where in my life do I think of as I'm hearing the guidance that's coming through these cards? Because as you're thinking of that, it's coding it, right? It's coding it to bring it into a very pure state of an intelligence through your DNA. So I just want to invite that in, okay? Just inviting that in, that if you're having thoughts or images or you're thinking of how this could relate to your own life, do that. Because as you're doing that, you're coding those experiences or those thoughts into the frequency of 963. So whether or not you're aware of that consciously, it's still happening because that's what the codes do. Now we're going to move into a space of this is what you're aware of, or on some level. If you're not aware, I hope you have some awareness of it now. And if you're like, I don't know if that's me, know that first of all, this is a general reading. But second of all, I'm going to say maybe it's time to own it. Maybe it's time to own the fact that you really are a change maker. You are a master. And what in you wants to resist that? There's one place in your life that you're already a master. Okay. What needs to be seen that you're not currently seeing? All right. So this is the mastery level. of new thought, it's mastery level of leadership, it's mastery level of the reset, right? This is beyond thought. This is beyond even that full body experience of knowing. This is, you're not even having to think about it anymore. So, what frequency is trying to be shown is that you might not even be aware of your own leadership. You may not even be aware that when you speak, people listen. You might not be aware that you're leading the way. And if you are aware, you may not be aware of the impact that you're creating. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. It's time to be aware. It's time to be aware of just how powerful you are, because in that there is such a huge space. And I don't want to put the word responsibility there, but a space of being in so much integrity that you know when you're showing up in your truth and you know when you're not. Because that awareness is important, because people are watching, people are listening. Showing up in your full authentic state of where you're holding consciousness within the intelligence that is turning on you, like it's the remembering, right? It's the remembering of your own mastery. And as you remember, it is so important with what you do, with what it is that you're remembering. Where am I sharing? Where am I connecting? Where am I creating? Am I creating from the purity that I know that I'm here to experience? Or am I creating interference because I'm afraid to own that and be on my own? Because to truly be a way shower, you are the first. Where are you wanting to share or give that power away so that you don't have to do it alone? Okay, sorry, I got intense there. Okay. All right. And then the DMT code that comes with this is that, you are being the architect, or I'm sorry, being the alchemist. You have the ability to hold something of form, and it may be the same thing, but you can hold it in one hand and it's one thing. You hold it in the other hand and it's something else. And what this card I see is like the connection of both of those. It's the ability to no, okay, let's say somebody like going back to that business idea of somebody coming and giving you something and they're like, I don't know what else to do with it, I can't figure it out. And you're like, okay, so you take it and you let this alchemist part of you come through, and all of a sudden you see exactly what it's creating, but you're able to see both at the same time. You see it for what it is and you see what it's becoming. That's what I'm getting here. So let's go and recap really quick. Where in my life am I giving my power away so that I don't have to do it alone, or I don't have to take on all the responsibility? And in that, How am I seeing myself now? And how am I seeing myself and what I'm becoming? And then being able to connect the two, because that's what it is to be an alchemist, is the frequency that's in between. You are the bridge. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so this is the space that now you're aware of, maybe what you weren't aware of before. And this is that space of co-creation where frequency is released for you to hold consciousness within so that you can begin to create that new space, that new form, that new reality. You start to create outside of your programming. And this is step one. You have the awareness. You weren't aware of this before, and now you are. So, what do you do with that? You move into the fourth level of consciousness. I'll put that video below. What level of consciousness are you in? This is the fourth level of consciousness because you are in an unknown space. You're outside of your programming. And you get that embodiment level of the 8. You had the 8 here as well. So it is that place of, what I see is just having fun with this is it's being that being able to kind of shift. So I don't like, okay, I'll just say it. I'm seeing that magic wand, right? Like you're the magician. And that's the question I want you to be asking yourself when you start to go into, oh, I want to share in order to lead so that I don't have to do it on my own. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with co-creation. That's different. But when something is yours to share, like to bring it into a space of full mastery, you have to lead, right? You have to lead. Somebody else has their own thing to lead with. Let them, and when you bring them into your space and you're trying to lead with them, it's interfering for both of you, right? Because they have their own thing to lead. And then two leaders can come together and create a collaboration where everybody wins. That's not what I'm saying. Collaboration is amazing, but you have to show up in your own space. You have to show up in that space of, this is the intelligence that's coming through me and this is what I have to share, and you got to own it, right? You have to own it. Own it to a space where you are so solid in it. I want you to see, like, I have this saying that I do with myself. I am standing at the tip of a mountain, and my platform is just big enough for my 2 feet. And it is so small that my attention to holding the intelligence of what my space is, right? Like the intelligence that is coming through me, it is so small that there is no room for interference. And if interference starts to come, I start to wobble, right? And so in that moment, I know, ooh, I just started to bring in frequencies that are not in the frequency of what I'm holding. And that doesn't mean that these frequencies are wrong or bad. It just means I need to get more solid in the frequency that's in me so that when all the frequency comes in, I'm still solid, right? And so there's information in that. But that's what it is to also be a leader, is that you're so solid in what your mission is, if you will. And I don't love that word, but we'll use it in this case, that there's no interference. You don't need to share your little space. You just are, right? You're just that. Okay. we'll let you sit in that. It wasn't exactly what I'm getting here, but it's close. All right. And the avatar or the DMT code that you got with this is the 11. All right. So let's look at this. The ability to stay in flow, the ability to bring in abundance, the ability to be the magician, to be that magic space, right? And then the creation, the co-creation that comes with that is the ability to hold consciousness outside of your programming. So going back to the top of the mountain, it's being really, really quiet, really, really clear. What am I here to bring from one thing and bring it into something else? And can I have that power and use the responsibility in that power to know that I am holding consciousness outside of my programming to the best ability that I can? Meaning, am I trying to recreate something? Am I trying to create the change because you are a change maker? Am I doing it from a place of programming, or am I doing it from a place of purity through the intelligence that is coming from my DNA? And that awareness is so important, right? It's so important. And you're not going to do it perfect. That's not what this is about. It's just about the awareness. And you guys all hear me say that. Am I here or am I here? And if the answer is I'm in my programming, step back and just wait. Just wait until you move back into the frequency where you're authentic, you're pure, you're in that space of leadership and a way shore through the frequency of source and the best ability that you can. And then you move forward. So, what is the co creation here? When you need to pull out the magic wand, ask for it. Ask for that frequency to be released within you. And then from there, attuning your consciousness to it, because the information will always be there. The way will always be there. Because guess what? You are the way. Okay, we have double eights here too. Double eights. So now we're moving into, so this is what you're experiencing now. This is what you didn't see. And this is how you're going to hold consciousness in a frequency through your body outside of your programming. This is the place where once you are given the tool that you need to actually move into a frequency of the unknown, this is the frequency that's being held in that unknown space because it hasn't moved into probability yet. And you are getting the level 1 of the 8, which means it's like what it is that you're going to want to bring into a new frequency is still a thought. It's still like in that place of intellect. And that's actually not a bad thing if we're doing it in the space of particles of possibility. So, what does that mean? So, what this means is that you're going to start to have new ideas about something that is already in form. So, an example of this would be I used to see abundance in this way, and I thought it meant this, but now it means this. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, I thought this, and now I think this. Or I used to feel that my job was this, but now all of a sudden I'm seeing it in a whole new way. And you're thinking about the difference, right? And it's allowing a space to come in to where you're truly mastering that alchemy of I can see what it is, what I thought it was, but I also can see what it's becoming. Major chills. So that's your practice. That is truly your practice, is what am I seeing? Knowing that I have the bridge to what it's becoming. And all I have to do is know what needs to be shifted, right? And turn on that frequency. So, what I mean by that is once you are seeing something, know that you're also seeing this. And even if you're not aware of it, you know it, right? It's art, that's who you are. And this place right here is what you're experiencing here. It's like, oh, okay, I can just kind of step back, ask for that frequency to be turned on. And then I know that this part is going to come for me to see. And then once it's seen, I'm going to know exactly what needs to happen because I'm the bridge between the two. All right, let's go to the last one. Okay. Oh, you know what? We got to do a DMT code for this one. Okay, so it's the 9. So it is mastering the matrix. I mean, it's everything I just said. We'll just sum it up with the code of the 9. So the 9 is the ability to see through the illusion. It's the ability to see this and this at the same time, knowing that if you're in observation, neither are necessarily going to be the truth, right? Because our truth is always going to shift as we're raising consciousness. But you know when you're seeing the illusion, even when you're stepping into a new level of truth of what you're holding. So sit with what that would actually mean, because your truth is always going to change. Oh, I don't know why I just did that. Okay, so, well, you know what? I did it, so we're going to do it anyways. All right, so we have I actually love this because you know you're having another 9. Okay, so the 9 and the 4. So this is the mastery level of the 4, which is mastering a new level of foundation. And then, so what I'm hearing in that is a new level of foundation of how you're mastering the matrix. So you are, so what is the foundation? The foundation is that where I'm standing on top of the mountain is so solid, right? It's so solid that when the interference comes in and there's, oh, well, you're supposed to be this, or oh, you were used to be this way, or whatever it is, right? Let the interference be there because you know it's just the illusion, right? And sometimes it's okay to just witness the illusion without actually doing anything. Sometimes the strongest foundation is to just stand and be in your foundation. What I'm seeing is you're standing at the top of the mountain and you're watching all of the illusion around you, and you're just watching it, but you're so solid that it's like there's very little to do, right? It's just when interference comes in and it's something that needs to be said, you say it, but then you go back to this. And then, but what ends up happening is the interference just goes away. Because if you're not participating in the illusion, it doesn't exist. So the question here would be, or maybe the level of awareness to bring forward from this reading is, where am I participating in the illusion? And where am I speaking truth through the illusion? I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll leave it at that. Okay, so the last DMT code is the 6, which is reprogramming on a cellular level. So this is what I'm getting from that. is that as you move into probability, you're going to be reprogramming your body into a higher frequency. And being so attuned to that frequency within you is everything. Am I in my truth or am I not? And if I have interference that's coming in where I may start to wobble on the top of my mountain, all I have to do is ask the intelligence to move through me. And then I have to take the responsibility to attune to that intelligence instead of going into my programming and interacting within the illusion. So, whether that's the illusion of your own programming, the illusion of reality, the illusion of another person, I don't care what it is, it's all the same. Take the responsibility to know that you are the only one that can keep yourself at the top of that mountain. You are the only one, and it's nobody else's fault if you start to sway. I can turn on intelligence within my body, and the frequency of how to move outside of my programming is always there, and that's on me. All right, let's code you. So, shutting your eyes, connecting into that heart space. Let's just bring that white blue light, allowing it to move into your heart, into your bloodstream, just feeling it as it activates the body. Bringing it into that frequency of 963. And then we'll release the codes on a DNA level in every cell of your body. We're going to release 5, 8, 2, 11, 9, 6. And just feeling these codes as they upgrade your software system. Raising the frequency of your body through this very specific intelligence of the guidance that is most relevant for you in this moment. For you to bring your highest potential into the frequency of 963 through the experience of January of 2024. Okay, my lovelies, definitely comment below. I want to hear how this was for you, if there's something that was coming up for you. And then, gosh, in a couple of weeks, I'd love to have you comment again so I can see what came of this, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's about taking action in the inner guidance that came through for you as we held a reflection together of what needed to be said today. Okay, love you.